Is from Owen. Let me forward you. Um, let me forward you that email right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Is Owen on the call?
Not yet. I will text him right now.
Okay.
I just sent that to you, Counselor, the letter.
Okay, thank you. All right, so is there anyone else on the call that can stand in for Owen, or did you need to wait on him, Commissioner Collins?
I'm not sure that if Heather's not here, I'm not sure that we've got anybody else that's real familiar with it. Sharon or Deputy Mayor Sarr, are you able to speak to it?
I am not. I'm trying to call Owen right now.
Okay.
I will say when I went to the city website, the meeting link for this didn't show.
Yeah, it did the same thing to me. On the calendar, it says 12 o'clock, but then once you actually click on it, you can get into it, but it is a little confusing.
Yeah, so that may have thrown him off.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and then I text Francine really quick, like, wait, did my meeting get canceled and I didn't know about it?
I think the number of times that you guys have run from one meeting to the other with what appeared to be the same link, I figured it was a safe bet to give it a shot.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Hey, Owen.
All right.
So, Owen, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and take it away with this item.
Yes, my apologies for being a few minutes late here. The item before you is a grant request. The site is the former Zip Zip Market on Erie Boulevard East. It's right near the Beach Street intersection, and it is a vacant city-owned parcel. And it's a parcel that the city has been working with New York State DEC with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for many years to finally get us to a record of decision. And by working on the site, I mean testing and reporting and doing a whole lot of evaluation of the site. Well, we're at a point now that we have completed that obligation with New York State. We've got a full report on the site. It's a brownfield site, meaning it's environmentally contaminated. And the state has made funds available for sites throughout the state that have completed a record of decision, which is kind of the formal thing that we've prepared with New York State. Sites that have done this work are eligible to apply for cleanup funds, funds that actually get in there, take dirty soil out, put clean soil in, essentially remediate the site. And so this is a grant request to do just that. The numbers included the $500,000 cleanup is an estimate that is based on that record of decision. We worked with CNS to prepare that report that was completed earlier this year. And so this is simply a request to apply for a grant. Obviously, if we are awarded the grant, that is something that we would then work with folks to begin the cleanup of the site. So kind of a lot of information there. It's a long-standing brownfield site. We know there's interest from some other property owners in the area to acquire the site. And so ultimately, the reason we would go through all of this is not so the city would continue to own the site, but that the city would be able to clean up the site and then make it available for sale, and return it to taxable status, and ultimately help one of the other property owners in the area, whether that be adjacent property owner, as I mentioned, the redevelopment of the large The building behind there, which escapes me, is being redeveloped. The old, David, do you know what that building's called, or Jen might also know?
It used to be Cooper Decoration.
Right.
Okay, yep, I figured that's what you were talking about. So
Yep,
this
yep.
piece of land is right in front of it, or it's next to it?
Is right in front of it.
Okay.
So if you were standing on Erie Boulevard looking back there at Cooper Decoration, this is that site right in front of it. The adjacent property owner, DBR Plumbing, is right there. They've expressed interest. So we've got a few area property owners that are interested and would, I surely can't speak for any of them, but I would assume if it were to be cleaned up, would perhaps be interested in acquiring the site through some sort of competitive process that the city would lead. So, in short, it's to do this work to ultimately see the site, put it back into productive use and taxable status.
So this is the area where we have frequent dumping problems currently, right?
This general area, you're right. There's that area essentially between Erie and East Washington. Some of it's overgrown, and there is dumping. There isn't necessarily a whole lot of dumping on this site, largely because it sits right on Erie Boulevard, so people are back and forth here pretty regularly. It's really, the site's largely vacant. And it's one of those sites that, and I could even bring up a screenshot of it, but it's a site that I think many folks would say, oh yeah, I didn't even realize we own that.
Yeah, could you own? Would that be all right if we
Yep.
see it? Because there's a lot going on. The Cooper has been a property of interest. In my district, we've had a load of conversations. We pushed that through to get it, get it back active. There's, I believe, there's plans in the works with the land bank to transform that Cooper Decorations.
Yep.
So I'd be very curious which particular parcel we're talking about. So it's actually on Erie Boulevard?
It is, and I don't know if I'm able to
pull it up.
Well, I can pull it up. Let me see if I can share. I may.
Well, maybe.
Let's see.
And I'm sorry, I didn't see this. What's the exact address? Maybe I can just Google it.
It's 1410. I think I'm sharing now, I believe.
Yep, we can see it now.
So we're looking, what you see here is the Beach Street intersection. And just for reference, the building behind the site is this, there's the grocery store, there's Erie Boulevard East, Burger King and Price Right are down here. Shahadi Rugs is here. This is DBR Plumbing's building right here. And then this site, what you see that behind this area, this overgrown area, is Cooper Decoration. The area of dumping is largely in this wooded area.
That's in the wooded.
The site itself is just kind of this vacant lot stretching right from about where this billboard is all the way over to the building.
Okay.
So it's kind of a one that we all probably drive past and not think much of, but it is city owned. It's well positioned between downtown and the Erie Boulevard East, business district, and so and the state, as you can imagine, is would provide the lion's share of cleanup funding for the site if we're awarded.
Awesome.
Counselors, if I may, there is a billboard on the site. It's owned by the city, and we currently lease that to Lamar, the billboard company.
Oh, okay.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Dave Clifford and maybe even you, Owen, I think this piece of property was discussed probably close to 5-6 years ago when that whole little intersection started being put together.
That is correct. Part of, you'll recall this area here, which is quite a few years old, but there was a green infrastructure project. This is the credit union right there. This area is no longer there. This is an older street view. Here we are at the intersection. The water shop is right behind us. If you look right here, remember the county did a large green infrastructure project right here. And then as you proceed there, you can see that green infrastructure right there. And then as you proceed down Erie Boulevard East, and I don't know why this keeps taking me across the street, but it's basically this site, kind of right here behind the credit union. So, you know, these funds, as you can imagine, are very competitive. There's a lot of municipalities that are looking to get these funds, but just for a point of reference, the city previously received funds for a very similar through the same program for 101 Chester Street, which is a long time vacant site at the corner of Chester and Bellevue. It's still a vacant site, but that was cleaned up a couple years ago. There was fencing all around it for probably 18 months, but the state cleaned that up. So we have been awarded these grants in the past, and we're looking to do the same thing here.
Okay, thank you, Owen. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay. All right, thank you, Owen. Was this was the only one that was sent over for the agenda?
Counselor, yeah, that is my understanding. I had actually been emailing with Evan a little bit. I do believe this was the only item.
Okay. All right, and so I would assume that this is okay to add to the agenda with just the committee members that's on the line right now.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay. And Councilor Green?
Set.
Okay.
Counselor, could I just interrupt for a second? I would just like a little bit of an update on issues with the Flatiron building. How are we progressing towards that?
Councilor Michael Collins here. So we're progressing on it. We had the meeting that you sat in on, as you know, we were told we were going to get forwarded some previous emails back to Owen, and we did. And it turns out that as we suspected, the information that we thought had been shared earlier in the year had in fact been shared with them. We know it since they shared it back. Owen has done an absolutely outstanding job of making sure that there is absolute clarity from every department that has gone back to Sarah Stevens on exactly what would need to happen to be able to have things considered the way that he would want to have them considered, and what the different options are. So that was Owen. That was beginning of the week. I think that went back to Sarah. Is that correct?
That is correct. On Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, but many of these decisions are more or less policy decisions. Am I misstating that?
Well, I would say that you know, as we've continued to talk about this internally, it's site specific. What's correct for that site? What's correct for Prospect? What's correct for those neighbors? And that's really been largely what's been a big driver on the feedback that he's received.
Okay, well, we all agree it's a very important project for the north side, so I want to, and you'll hear more from me, obviously, on this issue, and I appreciate Councilor Allen letting me hijack her meeting for about 2 minutes, so. You're a gracious counselor, thank you.
You're very welcome. I try. All right, so if that's all, then we're all set with this meeting.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Just so everyone knows, it's the same link going forward until the public safety meeting is on its own link. But the next one, economic development, was canceled, so finance will start at noon.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Conroy.
Okay.